Going live. All righty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium with today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Ottawa Rough Riders. Oh yeah, the 0-16 Ottawa Rough Riders. And why are the Ottawa Rough Riders 0-16? Because they suck during the Canadian Football League, baby. They ain't never won a Super Bowl. The Ottawa Rough Riders suck. More on them in just a couple minutes. There's a little bit more to the story here, but Ottawa Rough Riders, you suck. Come to the gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to fire away, throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might want to be, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free. Hey, Vinny G-Man, what's up, buddy? Vinny G-Man's in the house. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. I thank you in advance. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And maybe if you give this video a thumbs up or share it, that'd be freaking awesome. Right? And then also, finally, a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one is a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it is I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. I'm one of them get off my lawn type of old-time farts, right? It's a Twitter link, right? It's always been Twitter. It'll always be Twitter to me, right? I have a Twitter account. I put stuff in there every day. Giants-related stuff every day. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. And I said, and then the link just above it, it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We just reached 8,100 members today. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but if you become a member, members post stuff in this group as well, too. So between me and the members, there is a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Well, got got some new rules here. Oh boy. I guess some of it is also for the better of the safety, I guess you can say. So we guys said every year the NFL Competition Committee and every franchise gets a chance to suggest. Now the Detroit Lions, right? They had a suggestion on one of them, right? Let's see here. We have the rule change for a successful challenge to be awarded to a team for a third attempt, right? The league has approved a rule change suggested by the Detroit Lions, right? That will see coaches granted a third challenge if they are successful on any one of their first 2 challenges. That sounds fair to me. I mean, obviously it's also, you got to get the happy kind of medium. You know what I mean? You don't want it to be where it's like, where the NFL, because they're always complaining, it's like the games are too long, they took. I think the NFL the halftime was 15 minutes. It's down to 12 because the games are taking too long. Well, maybe if you don't have 352 commercial breaks, I don't know. Maybe they would cut the time down a little bit. You think? They score a touchdown. Team scores a touchdown, kicks the extra point. Go to commercial timeout. Come back. They have a kickoff. Sometimes we go to a commercial timeout after a kickoff. Then they come back. And then if the other team gets the ball, 1, 2, 3, punt, they kick it off. Then there's another commercial time. It's like, are you kidding me? But you want it to also be kind of like, I mean, that's fair. I guess if you have a successful try, I guess if you're 0 for 2, I guess you lost it. But you also don't want it to be where it's like the final 2 minutes of a basketball game. Do you realize the final 2 minutes of a basketball game, if it's close, takes as long as the first, 58 minutes of the basketball game? I mean, it's like they throw the ball in, foul. The guy goes to the free throw line, shoots 2, whatever like that. The other team is down, throws the ball down the other end. They got to heave up a ball without taking a lot of time off. Maybe they make it or whatever like that. The other team gets the ball, foul. Another time. I mean, it's like, so you don't want it to be like that, where like every 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Oh, we got another challenge. Game flow is huge. Game flow is huge. So, and also that too. There's not all the time. Not every coach uses all their challenges every week. Some don't even use them at all. Right. So it's not like because maybe you might get 3 challenges. Certainly does not mean every coach every week is going to want to use the 3 challenges. And sometimes, I mean, if they get 2 of them, if they're both wrong, you don't get a 3rd. So this we'll have to want to wait and see here. And who is this here? This is sportskita.com. They have the pros. Coaches now get a 3rd chance to challenge a game-altering play if they've had one successful challenge, 1 out of their first 2. It could help teams avoid being unable to make an all-important 3rd challenge due to one previous erroneous challenge. Now, I guess you always want to maybe keep one of these in your back pocket, especially maybe toward the end of the game. You don't want something, if it's a close game coming down to it or whatever, I wish we had a challenge. I mean, if something goes wrong toward the last few minutes or so of the game, you don't want to maybe blow all your challenges early. Let's see. We've seen games lost by tiny margins, and the new rule change might reduce such situations. The con here is it might break the flow of the game if abused. Currently, some NFL fans aren't too enthused about the new rule. Now imagine having an extra challenge despite making a wrong challenge call. The purists of the game won't be best pleased with the change suggested by the Lions, but, well, we'll see. We'll see. Rule number 2, the banning of the hip drop tackle. Oh, yeah. It says here's Dolphin safety Javon Holland is not happy about the NFL's new rule change. So Javon Holland says, breaking news, tackling is banned. Not allowed to tackle anymore. Let's see, voted unanimously to outlaw the swivel hip drop tackle. Numerous players have suffered season-ending injuries due to this dangerous defensive play. It's a tackle. I mean, with the rule change, the hip drop tackle will be punished by a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for the offense. However, don't be surprised if frequent offenders are handed out fines and bans in the 2024 NFL season and beyond. So, the pros to it. The safety of offensive players is prioritized, so they don't have to worry about a potential career-altering hip drop tackle. Defensive players might take time to get used to it, but with time, the hip drop tackle will become a thing of the past in the National Football League. The cons. It will take some time getting used to, as this tackle has been a staple of the NFL for a long time. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Next year, maybe they'll you're only allowed to tackle with one hand or something. I mean, oh my God. Despite the penalties and potential bans, defensive players will take time to stop using a move they've learned in high school or college, or maybe even before then. The hip drop tackle has been around for a long time, and deciding in real time whether a tackle is truly a hip drop move or an unintentional instance of players falling awkwardly is not a cup of tea. Yep. The league might need to exercise patience with this. Yeah. I mean, it's, yeah. Especially in real time. It's sometimes it's so difficult in real time. Rule number 3, rule change to allow for enforcement of a major foul by offense before change of possession when there are fouls by both teams. There's nothing wrong with this rule as suggested by the NFL Competition Committee. It will add fairness to the game and clarify doubts about who has possession. It seems like a solid rule change for the 2024 NFL season and beyond. So we'll have to wait and see. But then they got, now, which was just announced, now, I tried to, last night, try to go live, and I was trying to go over this last night. And anytime I go live, I hit the go live and all that, I can see myself in my screen, right? Last night, it was just it was black, totally black. I couldn't see nothing. Well, apparently, somebody else watches me said that they could see me, but all I could see was black. So I had no idea what was going on. I mean, I'm like, I don't know if anybody could see me, hear me, or whatever, but apparently I could be seen, but the screen was just black. So I'm like, I didn't even bother. I talked to YouTube this morning. They said there was something wrong. There's something wrong. And they apparently fixed it about a half an hour or so ago. I didn't even think I was even going to be going live, but I was supposed to be talking about this last night. Well, apparently they approved this with the kickoffs. And I think it's the XFL kind of version of the kickoffs and all of that. So it seems like there's a lot of moving parts to what's kind of going on here with this. Hopefully it'll keep more of the kickoffs in the game. Hopefully it will, concussions and injuries. Hopefully, I mean, it's football. Injuries are going to happen, but as far as a guy starting out at their own, 30, 35, whatever, after the ball gets kicked off, he's at 35, whatever, running down full speed. He might run 30, 40, 50 yards, and then he might run into somebody else. Concussion, possibly, right? Well, now they're like 5 yards apart. I think it's the XFL version. So, if we're getting concussions with this, I mean, I don't know what the hell else you can do, But hopefully this will take a lot of the injuries out of these kickoffs, make it a lot less dangerous. But if they are going to do a onside kick, they got to let the refs know beforehand. There's no, we'll secretly do an onside. No, it's not none of that. So you have to, let if you're going to do an onside kick, you got to let them know beforehand, and then everything goes back to, you got to kick it 10 yards and all that stuff and everything. But it seems like there's a lot of moving parts on this here. Where the heck? Here we go. All right. Got a video here. To address the lowest kickoff return rate in NFL history during the 2023 season and concern for players' health and safety, the NFL Competition Committee has proposed a new kickoff rule. Let's see. The new rule will keep the excitement of kickoff returns in the game while returning the injury rate closer to that of a traditional scrimmage play. Yeah, because when the guys, they're only like 5 yards or so apart. So to address the lowest kickoff, let's say the NFL Competition Committee has proposed a new kickoff rule. I'm watching this video here. It's going to start going. The new rule will keep the excitement of kickoff returns in the game while returning the injury rate closer to that of a just traditional scrimmage play. So if it's going to be safer, okay. The kicking team will kick off from its 35-yard line. Or the kicker, shall I say, because he's the only one. The other 10 members of the kicking team will line up on the receiving team's 40-yard line. So the kicker's all by himself. The other, so what we got? 10, 20, the rest of his teammates are 25 yards in front of him. So 10 guys lined up and down the 40-yard line. Then they'll have 9 members, a minimum of 9 members. Okay, of the receiving team will line up between the 30 and 35-yard line, so they can stagger it a little bit. They don't have to. I thought it was strictly straight across the 30, but anywhere from the 30 to 35, so they get a minimum, all right, of 9 players, right? So basically, for the most part, they'll be 5, 6, 7, 8 yards apart, but they can't move until the ball's touched. All right. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. The play begins when the ball is either caught or it hits the ground in the landing zone or is returned from the end zone. Let's see. The landing zone is between the receiving team's 20-yard line and the goal line. That's the landing zone. And obviously, the end zone would be the end zone. So the play begins when the ball is either caught or hits the ground in the landing zone. So anywhere from the 20, on back. Any kick that hits in the landing zone must be returned. Any kick that goes from the 10, from the goal line to the 20 has to be returned. Any kick that bounces from the landing zone into the end zone must be returned or down by the receiving team for a touchback and a possession at its, let's see, I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't say here what yard line. So that I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they figured that out or not. But this video is from like 2 days or so ago. So any kick that bounces from the landing zone into the end zone must be returned or down by the receiving team for a touchback. And then they give them the possession at whatever. I'm not sure what the 30, 35 or whatever. Oh, wait. Oh, the 20-yard line. I'm sorry. There it goes. It says it. All right. So if the ball hits into the landing zone and goes into the end zone, must be returned or be down by the receiving team for a touchback and a possession they start at their own 20-yard line. What do we got? If a kick fails to reach the 20-yard line, the receiving team takes possession at its 40-yard line. So, the way kickers are nowadays, they're pretty good. To make it land from anywhere from the goal line to the 20, that should be pretty easy. But if the kick fails to reach the 20-yard line, the receiving team takes possession at its 40-yard line. That was the same way as it was before. If a kicker accidentally kicked the ball out of bounds, the receiving team got the ball at the 40-yard line. If the ball enters the end zone in the air, the receiving team can return it or down it and take possession at its 35-yard line. So one more time. If the ball enters the end zone in the air, the receiving team can return it or down it and take possession at its 35. So if the ball hits before the end zone, bounces into the end zone, they can down it and take it at the 20. If the ball goes into the end zone, they take it at the 35. If it goes out of bounds or doesn't reach the 20, they can take it at the 40. What else we got here? If the ball goes out of bounds, the receiving team takes possession at the 40. Okay, so if it goes out of bounds or doesn't reach the 20, they take it at the 40. There's a lot of moving parts to this. There's no fair catch. Onside kicks permitted in the fourth quarter. So there's no, there's no whatever. Let's see. Hold on. Trying to think what the hell Super Bowl it was. 42, 46, 42. Was that the Saints? No, not 40. The 42 over 3, 44. Maybe it was Super Bowl 44 with the Saints and the Colts. Yeah. 44. 45 was the Packers and the Steelers. 46 was the Giants. So, faux. Super Bowl, faux. That's when the Saints came out at the beginning of the second half, and the surprise onside kick. They onside kicked it, recovered it. Game changer, momentum. It all turned. Saints go on for the W, right? In that Super Bowl. So there's none of that. So apparently, according to this, it says, just from what I'm reading here, it says onside kicks, fourth quarter. Setup and landing zones do not change after penalties or safeties. Only the spot where the ball is kicked changes. Aha. Let's see, and there's we'll see no more of this. No more fair catch, it says. So if the ball's, I guess, kicked down to the 10-yard line, there's none of this. So, and apparently also what I think I was reading is that they can't, the guys, the people lined up on the 40 and the 35, right? They have to stand there until after the ball either hits or gets touched. Then they can start. So obviously there's no, obviously when the kicker runs up to the ball and he's about ready to kick it, everybody else is running. There's none of that. Everybody's standing there waiting for the ball to land or be touched or whatever. And then, it's different. We'll have to wait and see if it lasts. Hopefully, it'll keep the injuries down to a minimum. So once again, we'll wait and see. So there's a lot of moving parts to it. I mean, it is one of the more spectacular plays in football. Really, I mean, especially if you get somebody bust one and go all the way. But I mean, it's also a little bit, it's when you got the 10 coming down here, and they got the others. I mean, it's like a clash of the Titans or something like that. And then you got a guy who wiggles his way through and obviously breaks through, and all of a sudden he's one-on-one with the kicker, and the kicker's like, what I mean? So it's a spectacular play, but this won't be quite maybe as spectacular, but at least we'll get to see hopefully a lot more returns this year. And I said, I guess if it keeps the injuries out. The thing is that I can understand. I can see keep trying to keep it safe and all that and everything. That makes all the sense in the world to me. But if you're going to start turning into like the all-pro game where it's like a flag football game, it's kind of like once again, because it's football. There's contact. It's football. I mean, there was football. There was contact in high school. There was contact in college. It's going to be contact in the pros. So, I mean, the guys get very well paid for this stuff too. So, as I said, it was like with the challenges, right? We don't want to make it where it's the final two games of a basketball match where the game just goes on and on and on because we have so many challenges. It's like, we don't want it to turn this into a flag football game because I mean, the hip drop tackle can't do that no more. So. All right, what else we got here? The luxury. I seen this here. Oh, hold on. The Giants. This is where the Ottawa Rough Riders come in out here. The Giants awarded global market program rights in Germany. Okay? Under the leadership of the NFL's International Committee, the league announced today that the Giants, actually today, this was a couple of days ago. I was going to do this last night, but I said the trying to go live on YouTube last night it didn't look like I can do it because my screen was totally black. But let's see. So the Giants have been granted international marketing rights in Germany through the Global Markets Program, their first entry into this program. The announcement gives the Giants the opportunity to activate in the German market through fan engagement, digital content, and events. The Global Markets Program launched in 2022 and grants NFL clubs access to international marketing, fan engagement, and commercialization activations as part of an important long-term strategic effort to enable clubs to build their brands globally while driving NFL fan growth beyond the U.S. Now the thing is how cool would that be, right? I'll tell you what. I want to talk about some home field advantage. Put a team, whatever. Put a division over in Europe. Right, want to have some home field advantage, right? Right. Hey, how about Seattle flies over to Germany, right? All the way, right, to play a game over there or something like that, right? The problem is that what we're finding is that of the 32 teams that we have, we're having a hard time getting really good, solid quarterback play. You would figure. Right, that with all the football that goes on and everything, and get these guys quarterback ready and for the pros and whatnot, all that. But we still have, it's still have the talent level. I don't want to say it's watered down. These athletes are just freakish athletes, but we don't have it's not like there's 32 really good quarterbacks, and each team has like a backup that could be. It's not like whatever the 49ers from the late 80s when they had Joe Montana, right, and Steve Young, right? It's not like that. You got teams, and we got Daniel Jones. We still don't even know if Daniel Jones is the quarterback, but there's teams that just don't have quarterbacks. There's not a boatload, a ton, a lot of extra good quality, as the Giants found offensive linemen and stuff like that. So it's the one thing is trying to build maybe a brand over there and stuff like that. And it's trying to, people thinking about maybe expanding over there. Hey, let's put some teams over there, or hey, let's put some teams in whatever South America or something like that. If you don't quite have enough good quality talent, you start put 40 teams out there and put another 4 or 8 teams out there, you're really diluting the talent level, But the Giants organization has been a long-standing history with the international ties. This is where the Ottawa Rough Riders come in at. In 1950, the organization was the first NFL team to play outside of the United States. That's when they played, I think it was Lansdowne Park, I think. The Giants played the Ottawa Rough Riders. It was the first game. It was the first game of the season for them. It was like an exhibition game. I think they won 27-3 or 27-6 or something like that. What it was they played, I said the Giants in 1950, they played the Ottawa Rough Riders. They played the first half were Canadian Football League rules, and I think the second half was the NFL rules or something or whatever. But so the Giants were the first NFL team to play a game outside of the United States when they played the Ottawa Rough Riders in 1950. Then let's see. Then there was the first NFL team that play outside, and in 1994 they made their first trip to Germany to play in the American Bowl for a preseason game against the Chargers. That one is on YouTube. You should be able to if you want to see that. I think the Giants won that one. Should be able to see it on YouTube. And in 2007, of course, the Giants became the first team to play in London, and Eli Manning became the first player to score a touchdown in an international series game. Right when he ran off to the left-hand side. I was totally shocked when he ran. He was running and he was running and he kept running, and I'm like, "Where's the defensive players at?" He's running and he's scoring a touchdown. Oh my God! Yeah, shocked. But that was the first game Also, that game there, that's where Jermaine E. Luminor fell. I forgot. He was looking around on TV for I don't know, it was a soccer or rugby or something like that, whatever it was. It was a conversation going on. I can't remember what it was, what he was looking for, because he was over there. He was over in Europe, living over there, and he was looking for something. And the Dolphin Giant game was on, and he was, he had whatever the remote control, and he saw. He's like, what the heck is that? And he saw the Giants helmet, I think the NY on the side. He was watching the game and he fell in love with it. So that Giant Dolphin game, if that game was never on, I don't even know. He may not even be playing in the NFL. He saw that game and he fell in love with it. So, in addition, multiple players with international roots have played for the historic franchise, most notably defensive end Michael Strahan, who spent most of his youth in Germany, where his father Gene was stationed in the U.S. Army. Other players include Marcus Kuhn of Germany, Osi Minora from Nigeria and the United Kingdom, Sandro Platzgummer from Austria, Roy Mbeteka from Nigeria, and current offensive lineman Jermaine E. Luminor from the United Kingdom. Kicker, the two kickers, right? Basically, both from Scotland, the Hammer and Gano, right? The Giants will kick off their marketing rights in Germany in April during the 2024 NFL Draft. So, we'll have to wait and see. All right. Now we got the... Well, I'll tell you, every year there's always that wild card. You're not sure, every year. I mean, it seems like there's at least one, right? But the big wild card this season, right, is I mean, things that maybe shake up. We still have about a month to go, a little over a month, like 29, 30 days until the draft. 30. I think it's 30 because it's on Thursday. So we got like 30 days before the draft. Holy cow. Freaking amazing, isn't it? It's like Christmas this time. But the wild card, right, is, there's always every year, there's always at least like one guy. Where's so-and-so? Is he going to go to the top? Somebody going to jump up and grab him in the top zone? Or is he going to fall maybe back to the team? Where's he going to? Well, that would be J.J. McCarthy. He's like the wild card this year. You don't know. I mean, I heard some people say, I'm just listening to some stuff, I listen to podcasts or YouTube videos and stuff like that. And some people say he might even be like the third quarterback coming off the board. He might even leapfrog like on maybe May or one of those guys or something like that. So we'll have to wait and see. But if for some reason he was able to fall to the New York Giants for some reason at number 6, and the Giants were to draft him, they got a little article here on, who is this here? From the New York Post. The luxury the Giants have if they take J.J. McCarthy in the 2024 NFL Draft. All right. If they take one of them, they won't need him right away, which is true. If they take a quarterback, they won't need him right away. And so identifying the most NFL-ready quarterback in the 2024 NFL Draft is not an assignment the Giants need to ace. They need to ace, Daboll, who's talking today, said, the quarterbacks, he said he loves going over the quarterback, talking to the quarterbacks, breaking down their film. He loves doing that, so they don't need to so much figure out, it's not like, who can we get, this, and who can we put in there ASAP where we're going to start winning games. We don't know. They don't need to do that. Daboll needs to go and look and see. It's like, if we do draft, like, say, Rattler, whatever, Knicks, whatever, in the second round or something, whatever. If he falls to 47, who knows? But I'm saying like Rattler. There's other guys, quite a few other guys out there. But Daboll needs to go and look, and it's like, I think I can work with this guy. I think we can get, I think, obviously it's going to take more than half a season or something. But, I think what this article is going to go over is that, we got Daniel Jones. We're going to have this guy sit behind him and learn and get developed. And if we get Daboll with his hands on him, maybe he can work some magic with him. The attraction nowadays around the league is toward experience. Look how many games this guy started, but the Giants do not have to follow the crowd with this one. They are intent on using their fairly lofty pick in the first round, pick 6, to find the next leader of the offense in the franchise. They can look beyond 2024 and try to project what the prospect will look like a year or two from now. The Giants have Daniel Jones returning from his ACL surgery, and if he's healthy, he will be the opening day starter. Right? And if not, we got Locke. Right? Tommy Chicken Cutlets, he's still around too, right? He won a few games for his last season. Any rookie added to the roster will not be asked to do anything other than this: adjust to the NFL, learn, observe, and grow. And sit. If this leads the Giants to J.J. McCarthy, so be it. He's the youngest guy, McCarthy. He's only 21 years old, the youngest of all the top-rated quarterbacks in this class, 6 months younger than Drake May, who's also 21. And McCarthy rarely was the centerpiece of anything, as the Michigan went 27-1 with him behind center. Why would the Giants be confident handing the controls over to McCarthy when Harbaugh opted to feature the run and not McCarthy and the passing attack? This is what makes McCarthy more difficult to evaluate than any other quarterbacks in the draft. Because, I mean, he's got throws, on film and everything like that. He just doesn't have as many of them. He's thrown, right? Whatever. Of a certain pass, he's thrown all parts of the field. He just has not done it as many times as all the other guys, as we'll kind of go over here. Let's see. McCarthy will play the entire 2024 NFL season at the age of 21, as he turns 22 in January. So he's just a baby, right? Then we see Nix, all right, is 24 and threw a combined 1,936 passes in college. He's thrown almost 2,000 passes in college. Michael Penix Jr., who's 23, has thrown 1,685 passes. He's thrown almost 1,700 passes. Daniels, 23, has thrown for 1,438 passes. Caleb Williams, 22, has tossed just about 1,100 passes at USC. Drake May has thrown 952 passes at North Carolina. McCarthy's only thrown 713 passes at Michigan. So he has, he's thrown the passes. He just hasn't thrown as many of them as the other guys. Nix leads the way with 108 touchdown passes, followed by Penix with 96, Caleb Williams with 93, Jaden Daniels with 89, and Drake May has 63. McCarthy, unsurprisingly, is far off the base. McCarthy's only thrown 49 touchdown passes. But once again, he was not asked to do that in Michigan. He was asked to turn around, hand the ball off. Let's see. Whoever puts the ticket in for McCarthy in the first round will base the decision on what he can do and not what he has done. Now, I heard, when he was talking to the coaches or writing stuff down on the chalkboard and all that, apparently he aced it. Apparently he's done very, very well. But writing stuff down on a chalkboard or whatever, the diagramming plays and stuff, and whatever is one thing. Being an NFL quarterback is something else. So, Well, we'll have to wait and see. But we're going to find out in about 4 weeks from now what the Giants think about McCarthy. That's it. That's if it even makes it there. You don't know. I mean, the Vikings got 2 first-round picks. They can certainly leapfrog the Giants. I mean, if whatever, Williams goes 1, May goes 2, Daniels goes 3. Yeah, the Cardinals don't need a quarterback. Are they willing to? And I said, if the Vikings want to jump up to number 4, are the Cardinals willing to fall back all the way to number 11? They need some pieces to their puzzle for their team, so maybe they will be willing to fall back. But chances are they also maybe miss out on Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 4. And that's, man, I'll tell you what, you team him up with Murray, you might have a special combo there for quite a while. I mean, that guy is – so they got to look at that. What are we going to get at 11 if the Cardinals were to do the trade with the Vikings, right? What are we going to get at 11 and we're going to get at 23? We'll get 2 nice guys. But you put those 2 nice guys together, do they equal what Marvin Harrison Jr. can be? I don't know. That I don't know. The one thing that I brought this up before, which would be, it could be unbelievable for the Giants. Say the Vikings do jump up to, say, 4. Cardinals drop back. The Vikings ain't jumping up to 4 to they're not taking a punter, right? They're going for a quarterback, right? So there'll be 4 picks, 4 quarterbacks taken. Now we go to pick 5, right? Harbaugh likes to run the ball. They did release half the wide receiving core, so they might need they might want to go to wide receiver route. But Harbaugh also likes to run the ball. Right, and get a good offense, like maybe take Alt. Just saying, right? Help keep Herbert up, standing upright while he's trying to throw the ball. But you got yourself a good tackle. So when you do want to run the ball, right, he might give you protection in the passing game, open up some holes in the running game. Wouldn't that be freaking awesome if the Chargers want to take like Alt? Then it comes to pick 6, and the Giants got 3 wide receivers. Woo, 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 woo. Man. Oh, yeah. All right, then we got Mr. Mara Speaks. And basically, it's pretty much been like pretty much like a whole year. I think the last time he spoke was like the last owners meeting. So it's been like a whole year since he's Mr. Mara. He's given his blessing for the Giants to take pick 6 in the NFL draft. Well, it would certainly give without question. I mean, instead of just handing jobs to people and stuff like that, right? It would give some competition, right? If the Giants were to go out and draft a quarterback, I'm just saying, right? Whether it's pick 6 or whether they take one later on, give some competition, right? Instead of just handing it, there you go, Daniel Jones. Here's the job, right? Give him some competition. If Daniel Jones is healthy, the expectation is he will be the Giants' starting quarterback for the kickoff the 2024 season. But what does that mean, though, if the Giants select a quarterback with the number 6 pick in the upcoming NFL draft? That is from the New York Post. Let's see. Did I say my expectation was to take a quarterback? Shane asked Monday at the NFL's annual league meeting. Touché. This of course, means nothing when it comes to what the Giants will do with their pick in the first round. They're making no secret of their investment in researching the top quarterbacks in the draft. You got to do their due diligence. Absolutely. There's no doubt that they are seriously considering addressing what Shane called the most important position in all sports. There's also no doubt if it comes to that, the co-owner of the team, John Mara, will not stand in the way. They fall in love with the quarterback and believe that he's worth the number 6 pick or we're moving up. I certainly would support that, Mara said. I let the general manager and the head coach build the roster. We have operated the same way for many years here. If they have a conviction about a player, I'm not going to get involved. I'll ask them about it, make them defend their position, but the only time I'm going to get involved and exert any influence is if I think that there's a conduct issue. Conduct issue off the field. And that's happened. Not with this group, but it's happened in the past on very rare occasions. Well, I mean, things happen. So, Mr. Mara would certainly support a, I'm not sure if he's thrilled to death, but he would support if the Giants were to take a quarterback. Right? I would kind of like to see him take a wide receiver and then maybe take a quarterback later on in one of the later rounds, maybe second, third round, maybe fourth round, develop somebody like that. Let's get a wide receiver. Let's get the guy, because you darn near almost straight up guaranteed almost that one of those 3 wide receivers is going to be there at pick 6. Crazy things happen, right? Right, but I mean, like, say whatever. Williams goes 1, say Daniels goes 2, and then whatever. The Patriots, I don't know, they take Marvin Harrison Jr. And then all of a sudden you get your run on wide receivers, right? And then the Cardinals could use a receiver, so they take a Dunzier. The Chargers need a receiver at number 5, so they take Neighbors. So now all of a sudden, the Giants are, maybe a quarterback falls in their lap. Maybe one of the top 3 quarterbacks falls in their lap. But the way it seems like things are going, right? It looks like the top 3 picks are very close to going to be quarterbacks. So, that leaves 3 wide receivers left. So it's darn near almost a guaranteed lock that with pick 6, if the Giants stay put, one of those wide receivers will be there for them. That's really seems certain. And so they're all a little bit different. Dunzier is taller, more of a contested catch kind of guy. Neighbors is kind of like, a lot of people, comparisons to Odell Beckham Jr. And also they're both out of what? LSU, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. is, he's like 6'4". So I mean, just 3 stud wide receivers. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. And then Mr. Mara, he admits he sometimes wishes head coach Brian Daboll would alter his demeanor. There are times when I wish he would tone it down a little bit, Mara said, via Darryl Slater of NJ.com. But I'm also in the team meetings and I see how he acts around his coaches in the office, and he always maintains his cool there. Does he get excitable during the game sometimes? Yeah, so do I, he says. But I don't think it's a major issue. I don't think it affects the culture that we have in the building at all. I still very firmly believe that Brian is the right guy for us going forward. I want him to be himself at the end of the day. If I get to the point where I think he's acting irrationally and it's affecting his performance, I certainly would have a word with him. But he said, I have not seen that yet. So of course, we got Daboll was, obviously the coach of the year. Certainly last season was a huge disappointment to me, especially coming off a playoff year, Mara said. But I still believe we're headed in the right direction. Obviously, until we start winning games, not everyone is going to buy into that. But I happen to believe it. A coach's demeanor is something an owner can tolerate when they're in the playoffs, not when they're 6-11. But I mean, obviously, to me too, it's what do you want? What do you want the guy on the sideline to be? Right? If things are going bad, do you want the guy? Do you want like a Tom Landry there? He has his hat on. He's just, hey, we could be down 48-0, and just be like, yeah. You like to look at the guy and see his face, and you want to be they show a picture of him on the sideline. You're like, oh yeah, we're getting killed. I mean, you can have the volume down on the TV, right? You don't hear nothing. There's no score being flashed, nothing like that. They just pan in on Brian Daboll, and you're like, oh man, we're getting killed. Well, oh yeah, look at that face. Look at that face. It's probably 3 touchdowns we're down by, right? You can also see, you can kind of look at, if we're winning, you can look at, oh man, we might have the lead. Yeah, no, dude, yeah, look at his face. Yeah, was that a smile? yeah, we might be winning this game. You know what I mean? What do you want? On Big Blue Kickoff Live today, they were talking about Howard Cross was talking about, right? He was saying like, some coaches nowadays could hardly coach. He was talking like that, like Bill Parcells, just going and cursing up and down his coaches, his players, the way guys get there. He said he also says if you get your feelings hurt, that's too bad. Right? I mean, he was firing guys, cursing at guys up and down and all of that on during the games. I mean, like Vince Lombardi. I mean, man, you start doing things wrong. I mean, it's back in the '60s, but man, he's throwing stuff on the ground and screaming at people and stuff like that. And everything. That's the way it was. Now guys seem to have feelings. I guess they're getting their feelings hurt and stuff. It's like, I mean, for me, I mean, if things aren't going well, I want a coach that's got some fire to him. I mean, if there's something that goes up to the guy, what are you doing? What's wrong? What are you get in their face? I don't want a guy just, we're down 28-3, halfway through the fourth quarter. Yeah, I want somebody that's got some fire, some passion to them. After the game's over, the freaking dude's fired up and stuff. You ever see him? Was it the first year when they would introduce him at the Ranger games and stuff like that? I'm not sure how many Ranger games he went to last season when they were getting losing. You start the season 2-8. I'm not sure how many Ranger games he was going to. Ranger games he was going to. But his rookie season, his first season, right, when we 9-7-1, we went to the playoffs and all that stuff and everything. He was sitting there at the Ranger games next to Joe Shane. They were paying in on him, and he'd stand up and get the crowd all fired up and everything. Passion, right? Right. I mean, I don't have nothing wrong with that. I mean, especially if he's doing it at certain times, if he's doing it the right time, if he's doing it 24/7. Yelling and cursing at people the whole time and all that, obviously on the field, off the field, that's a little something different. But game, man, it's 60 minutes. That's all you got, man. You do all this work all week long just for 60 minutes of football. It's a passionate game. It's a lot of emotions, fiery emotions. But as I said, you can see he's on a tour. He's almost like chest bumping some guys when things are going well. He's all pumped the fuck up and everything like that. You know what I mean? So I don't got a problem. I mean, I don't have a problem with him being all fired up and everything like that. It's like what Mr. Mara was saying too. It's good passion, right? Like I said, I'd much rather have my coach, being the way he is instead of just standing there, just taking a loss, just standing there. That's I don't like that. I like the way Daboll is. I like the way, as I said, I like a passionate coach, right? That's what Daboll is. All right, guys, we're 52, almost 53 minutes. Vinny G, man, good talking to you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.